That's how the physical wires of the internet work. But we wanted to find out about who provides internet service in New York City.
Right now in Manhattan or Brooklyn, we have almost no competition. Like in Manhattan, if you want to get internet, the only possibility are Verizon through DSL or Time Warner, Roadrunner. I guess you could buy a satellite dish or something, but I don't know how much that costs.
We went to talk to one of the only remaining independent internet service providers. That's ISPs.
We're not the only, we're one of the last remaining. There were many, many more, but it is a tough climate for small independent businesses in this business because of the regulations and the dominance, the market power of primarily the phone companies, but also the cable companies. The history of the Verizon monopoly is Ma Bell. It's the history of telecommunications. The government basically made a deal with Ma Bell about 100 years ago. You had a lot of little independent telephone companies, and some of them wouldn't connect to each other as a competitive advantage. And they realized that the only way to get the real advantage of telecommunications was to have every telephone company connect to every other telephone company. So they made this grand bargain. We'll let you form what everybody said is a quote-unquote natural monopoly. Instead of having 8 different phones on your desk for the 8 different phone companies, we'll make it one phone company, but you can't just have a monopoly, we'll regulate it. So you had 100 years of a regulated monopoly. The 96 Telecommunication Act basically said, you, Baby Bells, you will allow anybody to plug into that network, use all the components of those networks so that people can provide competitive services. The expensive part of the telecommunications network is the wire into everybody's home. You don't want to have to run a wire and dig up the street and for every customer you're going to do in this building. So you're going to rent those pieces from Verizon, which they're obligated to under the 96 Act, and you just want to put equipment where these lines terminate so that you could then put it on your network. In our case, the way we provide broadband is we take that traffic and then we bring it out to the internet. The problem was that the enforcement of the 96 Act lagged. You get into, well, how much are they allowed to charge for it? How can you prove that it's there or not there? How fast or how slow can they do it? They basically can make it very, very difficult for that process to go on, and they did. In the days of dial-up, Verizon was not even allowed to be in that business. Now they have 90-something% of the DSL business.